A senator has put forward a bill that would put an end to dual citizenship. The bill was introduced by Ohio Republican Senator Bernie Moreno. Senator Moreno says the bill is intended to ensure, quote, sole and exclusive allegiance to the United States. It would require dual citizens to choose between their U.S. or foreign citizenship no later than 1 year after the bill is enacted. It would likely face serious legal challenges if it were to become law. Michael Wilds is the managing partner at Wilds & Weinberg and Melania Trump's former immigration lawyer. He's also the Democratic mayor of Englewood, New Jersey, and he joins us now. Really good to have you on this story. Beyond the fact that this may not be legal, is it even practical? Like, lay it out for us. Can the U.S. government actually ask dual citizens, you've got to choose, and that includes your former client, the First Lady, Melania Trump?
Well, this is, really an exercise in futility in so many different fronts. It never made a difference when we started as a nation 250 years ago, if you prayed on a Friday, a Saturday, or a Sunday. And it shouldn't make any difference, particularly when we give citizenship to people who serve in our military. And many of our wonderful soldiers end up marrying people that they love when they are in foreign lands. Even the good senator himself was born in Colombia. Now, do we want to turn our back on people's histories? I think really the best constellation of America is not just the food and the culture and the identity from all these wonderful countries, but being American is being proud of that heritage and bringing that great Irish stew, or in my family, they would call it a chullent, together with all the different pieces. And it should be valued, it shouldn't be hidden. And people are born sometimes, Paula, to foreign nationality where they acquire citizenship of two countries because of their birth. Effectively, the government's going to have to police this and end citizenship for people so quickly. And to make these kind of choices is just going to the absurd.
And when you say that it's absurd, though, even if in a wild sense they wanted to try and enact this, legally it would be quite difficult. I mean, people do try and give up their U.S. citizenship today, and they find it a long and expensive process, right?
Giving up citizenship is not easy, and it is unwise for a whole host of reasons, the least of which is that you're considered to be a foreigner when you want to come back. There's no entitlement to come back to the United States. And effectively, you would be not just put at the back of the line, but since you were a citizen, they could inure a dual intent that you want to be permanently in America again, and they can deny your entry. We caution our clients against giving up their citizenship for a myriad of reasons. This whole argument about being American doesn't mean that other countries and our legacy nationalities have no value. My grandfathers are citizens by choice, not citizens by chance. And they pledged their allegiance to this country when they came through Ellis Island. So long as they were going to bear arms and protect this country's interests, that's what we need. To now make it, it's inexcusable to kind of hold people responsible for things that they were born into.
And Michael, I do want to ask you, though, where this concept of allegiance comes from, right? The rhetoric of late has put a whole new spin on the term second-class citizen. What are you seeing in cases, legal cases, and perhaps even citizens in New Jersey there in terms of what they're going through? Because this does seem to be a trend where there are certain kinds of citizens and other kinds of citizens.
The government has now changed the dialogue, and I'm in a law school. I teach at Cardozo Law School in Manhattan, and we address foreign nationals as non-citizens. The statute itself used to say aliens. I think a lot has to do with the dialogue deteriorating in our elected officials in Washington and not understanding that the greatest risk takers, entrepreneurs, our founding parents and documents all envisioned a world where foreign students, entrepreneurs and inventors would help really make America great. And that if we don't give a way for students to onboard properly, if we don't help people and the talent remain here and then we compete against them, or if we make it that Americans are better than other people, No, we're different. And this great experiment is only 250 years old, and it seems to be working. And it worked with our founding parents that were citizens of an enemy country. Remember that, Paula. Our founding documents were written by Brits who came here and became American citizens. This is a journey that we have a responsibility because our kids will do what we do, not what we say. And what we're saying and what we're doing in Washington is going from bad to worse.
We will leave it there for now, Michael. Appreciate your insights, and we'll wait to see if the senator's proposal goes anywhere at all or is an exercise in futility, as you had indicated. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Now,